Hi everyone, Stephanie Oliver here, and I'm going to talk to you today about Chapter 7 of Chop Wood, Carry Water, and it is titled Guzzling Salt Water. And so the sensei, when we first get started in this chapter, he's talking about just needing some new societal norms. And the quote that he says here is, "The scorecard society judges us by is tragically flawed, and pursuing it will leave you completely unfulfilled." This is powerful. And he challenges John to write down some characteristics of people that he admires. And so John, writes down things like grateful and loving and empathetic and boldness and courage. And then the sensei encourages him to pick four and of the characteristics that are most important to him. And he can start grading himself on that, right? And so if you stop and think about those types of characteristics, having courage, being empathetic to other people, loving other people, being grateful every single day, that is successful, right? Because what society tells us is successful is, going to college, getting a job, living in a house, having 2.5 kids and a dog. But what's hidden behind that, right? 80% of America lives paycheck to paycheck. So while we're so busy creating a facade, right, like a Band-Aid over that, deep down inside, who are we? So when we strip all of those things away, if you take away your college degree, if you take away your title as a mom or a dad, a brother or a sister, if you take away your title as a dietitian, who are you at your core? And if you can't figure that out, or let's say you're mean-hearted or selfish, that's not very successful, and that will spill over into other areas of your life. And so really getting to the core of yourself and figuring out, who am I as a person, that is what's going to make you successful, and that's what's going to lead to an abundant life, right? And that's what we're called to live, is abundantly, for sure. The other thing I want to tie this into, though, is really about your fitness, because the other thing about society is 56% of us are overweight or obese. However, society is putting women, especially, in this box of, here's what you need to look like, and every single day we're fed images of things that we just can never live up to, and we're left with this false sense of worth. But when you start scoring yourself on some of those characteristics, and they may be different for you, and you may be looking for some things may be more important than others for you, but you get the drift there, where if you're judging yourself based on that, you are successful. And it doesn't matter if you're a size 2, because what is a size 2 really if you're not even a nice person? And so what I'd like to encourage you today is, number one, tell yourself 3 things that you love about yourself. And instead of saying something that you can't stand about yourself or your body, how about talking about what you do admire about your body? And that's hard. That is not easy, but guess what? You deserve it. That's number 1. Number 2 is, as far as your life goes and life goals, what are the characteristics that you want to emulate? Because think about this. As a person, you are in contact with people all day long, and how do you want to be remembered? You know what? At the end of the day, no one's going to remember that big house you live in. But they are going to remember how you treated them, right? And I am not saying that if you have a big house or expensive car or whatever, that's not important. But what I am saying is that is absolutely secondary to who you are as a person. And so I hope that you are getting value from these teachings and from interacting with everyone, and enjoy the rest of the book.